That scared Bubsy. That's my dog. Okay, let me finish setting everything up. Including plugging my poor phone in. Okay, there we go. And let me... bump. And bump. Here we go. Oops. I'm done. Give me a minute. Hi, Pasta. Welcome. I'm glad to see you. It's nice seeing you. How are you doing? Oh, you're always so cute. Okay, there we go. I think I have everything set up. I should. Okay. Let's go. How are you doing, Pasta? Okay, so for background, last time we were playing Hi Sam, welcome, glad to see you. Last time we were playing summary of the whole game. So this girl saw a dead body of an old woman once and was traumatized, but her friends made her go back in the house she saw the dead body in because they suck. But in there she met a girl that she fell in love with. So she told her friends off, and then this is the next day, and she went back inside the girl's house she fell in love, or she went back inside the dead lady's house to see the girl she fell in love with, and now they're talking and being gay. Ahem. You should be careful with that thing. Oh wait, I mixed up their voices. Don't be daft. I forgot their... welcome, I'm glad to see you. Don't be daft. I doubt it can cut through butter. That'll be why nobody pinched it. I forget what her voice sounds like. A shaft of moonlight spilled through the gap-toothed window. It caught on the side of the blade so it shimmered. You know... Althea looked at Aspen, her eyes narrowed. I don't have any fingerprints. This was such a bizarre non sequitur, Aspen wasn't sure what to say other than... Excuse me? You heard what I said. I don't have any fingerprints. I was born without them. Lesbians! Yeah! Happy Pride Month, y'all! You actually can have no fingerprints. I don't know if you can be born without them, but if you burn your fingers, then you can remove your fingerprints. That isn't true. You're teasing me. No, I'm not. I'm being perfectly honest. The pads of my fingers are completely smooth. They've always been like that. I could go through this house touching absolutely everything and nobody would know I'm here. Guys, get out your lore books! Get out your lore books! She says she's not a ghost. And Althea and Aspen have now touched, which means she's not a ghost. But she also doesn't have fingerprints. I'm gonna burn my fingers and steal stuff? That's actually something people have done. But, like, you have to, like, I don't just mean, like, slightly burn your fingers. I mean, like, you have to completely, like, burn off your fingertips for that to work. I will steal watermelons? Good luck. Like, you have to burn off the tips of your fingers and permanently scar them for life for that to work. Althea's grip on about the knife tightened. She squeezed it so hard her knuckles turned white. Her knuckles already look pretty white to me. I could stab you with this knife right now, and the police would never know I touched it. I mean, cut off your fingertips and steal stuff. Genius. I don't think you could cut them off because then your blood would be everywhere, but you could burn them off. They'd probably think you committed suicide. Now, wouldn't that be an interesting murder? Alternative method. Genius. But then your blood would pour everywhere and they'd have blood on the crime scene, which is even better for them. Oh no, my bracelet fell off. Oh, also, I need to tell y'all something. Yasi got me the cutest letter in the whole wide world. So if y'all don't go support Yasi, Yasi hasn't streamed yet. But when they do... How do I spell Yasi's name? What? Yes! If y'all don't support Yasi, then get out, you know? Take blood clotting medication, you're a genius, but then you'll have a blood clot and die. But, I mean, the crime will have been committed, and then there will be no evidence, because you murdering is the evidence. Anyways, is it weird that, like, I'm finding this kind of cute? Like, she's literally, like, pretty much saying, I'm going to murder you while we're in an abandoned house together and no one will find out. And I'm like, oh, the lesbians. I'll drink my blood. Now that is smart thinking. Agatha Christie, eat your heart out. Aspen eyed the blade of the knife uneasily. Smart. See, this is why I have you guys, because you guys know how to commit crimes. You guys are geniuses. Aspen eyed the blade of the knife uneasily. Though the blade was rusted, like Althea said, she still didn't like the thought of it being plunged into her neck. Yeah, I don't think many people like that, unless they're, like, really kinky. Is that, like, a thing? I know, like, knife play is a thing, but I don't know shit about it because I'm a minor. But I don't think knife play is just stabbing someone in the neck. I mean, I'm no expert, but I don't know if that's a thing. Her skin would tear away, just like wrapping paper. Then she'd start bleeding. Even a blunt, rusty knife could cause a lot of damage when presented with a canvas of unsullied human skin. Well, yeah, because it's a knife. What does it being rusty have to do with anything? I don't know if you're joking, but it's not funny. I'm not joking. I'm being perfectly honest. Girl! Is this gonna become a horror story? Either kiss or kill each other. Do one or the other. But I guess honesty isn't always the best policy. I'm headcanoning her with autism now. Not when you're talking about murder, no. Sorry, I was just kidding around. It's not like I'd really kill you, you know? I hope not. Althea smiled apologetically and shrugged her shoulders. She sets the knife down in the drawer, giving the blade an almost reverent caress, and shut it back away in the drawer. Maybe you two should give each other a reverent caress. I don't know what reverent means, but maybe you should. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I guess my thoughts can be a little messed up sometimes. I've been spending too much time in this old house reading about Poirot and Miss Marple. I don't know who those are. Aspen frowned. You read detective fiction? Oh, we figured out who they are. We are geniuses, guys. Write that down in your lore books. No, you don't need to write that down in your lore books. No thoughts, head empty, me. In the thigh. Aspen's father was rather fond of Agatha Christie. I love Agatha Christie. I've only seen one of her plays. I've never read any of her books, but I love her. I'm a fake stan. Their shelves back at home were crammed with dozens upon dozens of slim, paperback novels rescued from charity stores. Penny was always getting on James to sell some of those old books off. She said they didn't have enough space. Man, those books could be really worth something someday. Like, those might be the only copies left. I mean, I say this as an antique collector, so I'm the wrong person to ask. James, being James, ignored her and made jovial remarks about his wife being the next Marie Kondo. Penny was not impressed. Fair enough, honestly. Bits and pieces. The dearly departed left a huge collection of books behind, and I was going through them. You've been reading a dead woman's books? Well, why not? They're about the only thing that didn't get stolen, and her collection is pretty interesting. So, warning guys, there is going to be a mildly sexual part, but I will be skipping it. You will not see anything bad. To summarize what happens, they start reading a book that is not appropriate, but I will be skipping past it because it makes me uncomfortable. Do you want to take a look? It's more exciting than the kitchen, at least, and I'll be, like, telling you when it happens. I will not just be like, surprise, motherfucker! Well, Aspen frowned. For a few moments she felt unsure. Should I do a British accent? I don't know how to do a British accent. Althea was pretty, yes. She was bubbly and exuberant, and mostly fun to talk to. But her sadistic jokes and her macabre sense of humor seemed a fair indication that all was not entirely right with her. Oh, I will be tweeting this out. But thank you guys so much. I love you. On our last Rituals in the Dark video, we got 144 views. I'm still in shock. Who joked about committing murder? Particularly with someone they barely knew, particularly in a fucking creepy old house. But Aspen had made a pinky promise, and that formed a binding contract that couldn't be broken. Aspen had vowed she would be Althea's friend, and she didn't want to go back on her word. If you're gonna get murdered, at least get murdered by a hot girl, you know? She didn't want to let Althea down. So it was with a small smile Aspen finally acquitted. All right then. Great, let's take a look. I'll lead you on a guided tour of what once was Miss Lay's home. I'm the one who used to come through this house every Sunday. I think I could give a better tour than you. I'll preferably get murdered by a hot guy. Happy Pride Month? Yeah, but you only knew this house when it was alive. You haven't seen much of it now that it's dead. Aspen opened her mouth, ready to say, what? That Althea was being ridiculous? Or, as she herself had termed it, dopey? The layout of Miss Lay's house had to be changed after her death. Though Miss Lay's belongings were more scuffed and dusty than they had been, what belongings that hadn't been stolen at least, the house was still the same. At least it was, logically. Logic didn't always apply to reality. See, Bun, you're a gay man, I'm a gay woman. When we combine together, we create the pride. We create the LGBTQ community. There was something subtly wrong about Miss Lay's home now Miss Lay no longer lived there. You're telling me? Ooh, there's something slightly off about a dead old woman's abandoned house? No. It didn't smell of mints and musky lavender perfume. Instead, it smelled of decay. Maybe because an old woman died there. Maybe. Maybe Althea was right. Maybe the house had changed in some great, irreversible way since Miss Lay's death. Now it was just an empty structure without an owner. A what? An owner. Divorced from the other neat, square homes on Paradise Road. A faint, tremulous entity filled with nothing but memories. Alright then, I'll follow you. Good girl. I knew you'd see it my way. Now, let me get my torch. Should they be British? I don't know. Althea turned back to the washing machine. Aspen noticed, for the first time, a white tote bag resting upon the old appliance, which must have belonged. Sorry, ignore my dog. He's just really wild for lesbians. That's a joke. He's a guy. He's protecting the house, of course. It must have belonged to Althea. It matched her outfit. Aspen wondered what was inside the bag, other than the torch. No, torch means flashlight in British. A mobile phone? House keys? Or wallet? I was gonna say something dirty. No, don't say that. Somehow, these articles all seemed too mundane. Such personal effects didn't suit the girl in white, with her insatiable love for theatrics and drama. Alright, here we are. Althea excruciated the torch from the bag and turned it on. A small circle of orange light emitted from the head of the torch. How do you do a British accent? So, my lovely assistant, shall we get going? Right. I'm trying, y'all, I'm trying. The path illuminated by the artificial orange light of the torch, Althea led them out of the kitchen and into the hallway. It was much darker away from the kitchen, with its window open to the elements. All other windows in the house had been boarded with plywood, as had the front door. The hallway was completely black, save for Althea's torch. No moonlight would reach them in here. I hear Bubsy coming. My lion cuts on his way. Oh, baby, good job! You really told him, didn't you? Oh. You tell him, baby. You tell him. You tell him how you feel. Tell the viewers how you feel. Continue. Continue. See how you feel, baby. Preach, king. You tell me. See, Bubsy, 1 minute. Bun Bun says wolf. He says, thank you, Bubsy, thank you. I'm so glad I have your insight, baby. I love you. Okay, I think that's enough insight, baby, but thank you. Love you. Love you. You do a good job. Okay. Bubsy, Bun Bun says woof, woof, woof. He's ignoring you now. As they crossed the hallway, sorry, I'm back. As they crossed the hallway, the old wooden floor creaking in protest, Aspen glanced about. singing break. Parts of the hallway looked the same as she remembered. There was the green wallpaper, the little wooden table, and the tall, skinny coat stand that looked like a denuded tree. The wallpaper was starting to peel, however, and somebody had taken both the old telephone and the vase of fake flowers from the table. Miss Lay's thick woolen coats and hats and scarves were missing from their stand. Ah! Her shoes, beige pumps, flats, and slippers were gone. Somebody had even switched the paintings of boats and seagulls that had been displayed on the wall. Aspen could see patches of wallpaper that were brighter than the rest, conspicuous rectangles that showed that something was missing. Aspen shivered, winding her arms around her middle. Is it cold? Oh wait, is it colder in here, or is it just me? It's you. You're imagining things. I'm trying British accent. I don't know how to speak British. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Everything's boarded up. Wind can't get us in here, right? Right. Now, in we go. Althea's free fingers reached out into the darkness. Her palm rested flat against the wooden door, which Aspen knew led to the living room, and gave it a push. Oh. The door opened with a low creak. The noise was almost ominous, like a whispered warning. But Althea didn't seem like the sort to care about silly things like omens. Not if it got in the way of her fun. Althea entered the living room, and Aspen trailed close behind. Yippee! Where are we going? The living room, more so than the kitchen or the hallway, held a lot of memories for Aspen. This was where she and Miss Lay would sit in those overstuffed armchairs. Aspen was strangely relieved to find the chairs were there, though somebody had pinched the cushions, and talk. In the past, this room had been infused with the scent of freshly brewed tea. But now it smelled, of sawdust and neglect. The circular clock was gone from the wall, and somebody had stolen the old VHS player and the poop where Miss Lay used to rest her heavy, weary legs. The cabinet where Miss Lay had displayed all her little china figures had been ransacked. Most of the figures were missing, and those that weren't had been smashed. At least, Aspen tried to console herself. Miss Lay had given her that tiny ballet dancer on her birthday. Part of the old woman's collection still survived, undusted and neglected on Aspen's bookshelf. The squatters and the thieves hadn't been contented to simply take, however. They had left a few tokens on their own. Empty beer. Congrats on catching snow, Bun Bun. Now I gotta know what snow... sorry, heart monitor. What snow looks like. Snow Pokemon. It's got a little blood face. Oh, y'all, important news. I have a new favorite Pokemon. It is... what's his name? Wobber? I adore him more than life itself. The squatters and the thieves hadn't been contented to simply take, however. Oh yeah, okay, I read that, sorry. Snowman's like a butt face. It tried to censor butt! How dare you say butt in my chat, Bun Bun? In America, we don't say such profanities. I'm joking. You're good, Bun Bun. Baby, hi. It's okay. You're good. Talking to Baby, not you. Baby is my dog. Aspen looked at Althea anxiously. But, how dare you, Bun Bun? I'm calling the police. My mom the other day, I was like, what's that thing Bun Bun says? And she said, like, poo-poo fart? And I was like, Bun Bun would never say such profanities. People don't live in this place, do they? I don't think so. It's just ghosts now. You haven't seen anybody else around? Just you, like I said, and I've come here quite a lot. But that sleeping bag... I can't separate while doing British. Only one of them can be British, so Althea's gonna be British. Ignore it. I don't think anyone's coming back for it. Althea kicked the crumpled sleeping bag into a corner dismissively. That isn't what I wanted to show you. Look at all these. Althea shone the light of her torch on a bookshelf that was set against her wall. Aspen looked... Why do I keep yawning? Aspen looked at it curiously, her brow furrowed. Though the china cabinet had been almost completely cleared out, the bookshelf remained in almost perfect condition.
Rayon British era, for real, for real.
No sticky, thieving fingers had bothered trying to price these firmly packed books from their perch. Or if they had, they'd soon given up. They're all here. That's right. I mean,
Don't you huff at me, little man.
who cares about books in today's day and age? It's kind of funny, actually. What is? The thieves cleared out the china cabinet and all the pictures from the walls, but they didn't touch the books. I guess they figured these books were worthless. Or maybe they just didn't want them. It'd be hard to run off with all these books. They'd be too heavy. You're not wrong, but some of these old things are actually kind of rare. I was looking through the shelf. I'm nosy like that.
My accent is switching so much.
Nosy like that. And some of these books look like legit first editions. Take this, for instance. Althea stood on her tiptoes and reached for the topmost shelf of the bookcase. With a bit of effort, she managed to pry free a hardback book with a deep blue cover. See? She held the book up to Aspen, smiling.
Stop yawning!
Stop yawning! She held the books up to Aspen, smiling proudly. Aspen looked at the cover, illuminated by the orange glare of the torch. She could pick out the title, written in red letters against the royal blue. The Murder of Roger Ackroyd? That's right, it's Agatha Christie. The old woman must have loved her. It looks like genuine first edition from 1926, too.
What accent am I doing?
You know, books like this can sell for a lot of money. Serious collectors will pay hundreds of pounds for this sort of stuff. Really? Really? Collectors are crazy like that. This isn't the only first edition either. There's a whole bunch of rare books on the shelves.
I want, give them to me.
But I guess the thieves thought those china figures would fetch more money.
Althea snorted.
What morons. They took all the worthless junk and left the real treasure behind. How do you know so much about books?
Because she's God. Obviously because she likes books, dumbass. Sorry, why am I being so mean?
Why'd you ask? Is there something wrong with that? Not really, I just didn't expect that from you, I guess. I'm full of surprises.
Like my accent keeps switching constantly, and I almost said queef. Althea giggled and turned back to the bookcase. Standing on the tip of her toes like a ballerina, she inserted the hardback volume back among the others.
You broke into Miss Lay's home too, you know. I know. I guess this makes us partners in crime then. Just don't tell anybody. I don't have anyone else to tell. Poor thing. You sound so sad.
Okay, girlie, I love you, but you are alone in a house with a creepy girl who threatened you at knife point and said that she has no fingerprints and could murder you, and you decide to tell her that pretty much no one will look for you if you go missing? Not a bright idea.
Well, I know just the thing that'll cheer you up. What?
I don't know why my tone's so weird. I add emphasis to the most random words.
I was working my way through some of the late Miss Lay's books, and there really is some interesting stuff in here. There's a lot of detective stories, some classics, old children's books, some Ian Flemings, and there's also a whole bunch of romance stories. Romance?
Yay!
Yeah, old-fashioned body strippers. They're kind of funny. They're kind of funny. Look.
I was gonna say they're kind of funny of look.
Althea took another book from the shelf. It was another hardback, thicker than the Agatha Christie, with a pink cover featuring a slender, pretty woman swooning into the arms of a muscular man.
Stop yawning! For the love of God, stop yawning!
What's this?
The Virgin and the Viscount? Okay, this is where soon we're gonna start skipping.
It's exactly what it looks like. Do you want me to read a bit?
We'll skip when it gets dirty, don't worry. Aspen did it. Muscular man. That's a book Bun Bun would have. Half joking.
Reading such a book felt far too intrusive somehow. Like cutting open the slate.
Yeah, if you went into an old lady's house and stole her porn book, I think that is pretty intrusive. No, ad attack, no! Like cutting open, if I don't stop yawning, I'm gonna... If I yawn one more time, we might play a different game. Not that I'm not enjoying this game, I just don't know why I keep yawning and I'm having pretty bad chest pain. Man! Big brother! Oh, I accidentally clawed myself in the eye and probably broke all of y'all's ears. Sorry. Welcome, Big Brother. You came at the worst possible time. We're about to skip through a part because it's inappropriate. I'm trying to see when it starts.
Laughing at the romantic taste of a woman who'd been dead for 6 months was far too cruel. Althea, however, seemed to take out...
Okay, this is the part I wanted to include because I wanted to say that, because earlier, get out your lore books, guys, get out your lore books! I had said that Althea's the only character I like in this game, although she does do some problematic shit. This is the main thing that bothers me. Remember that everyone kind of steps on Aspen's toes? That's not what I meant to say. Everyone kind of uses Aspen as a doormat, and Althea's the only one who's like, girl, stand up for yourself. But like, she was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that, and she was like, I'm gonna read it anyway, so we're gonna skip past this. But basically, she reads out a dirty book. That's exactly how I'm feeling right now, Big Brother. Like I said, if I yawn one more time... Okay, wait, here we go. It should end now. If I yawn one more time, we're playing a different game because I am having chest pains and yawning does not feel good right now. I don't know if it's the game, but come on, don't yawn. Don't yawn. Don't yawn, please. I was gonna say maybe some bits would help me not yawn, but no, they would not help me not yawn. You could give me bits and it'd be very sweet of you, but sadly the yawning will continue. The husband died, yeah.
Besides, didn't you say your husband died? He died a long time ago, before I was born, but... Well, there you go.
No wonder she read things like that! Alright. Y'all are weird.
I feel sorry for the old dear, being cooped up in the house all alone. Can you begrudge her for turning to stories for comfort? The body might get older, but the mind remains...
Okay, I'm gonna skip a little.
Being serious for a sec, though, this book is super trashy. I tried to read it, but couldn't get more than 50 pages in. I'd never let her go.
Okay, let's indeed. Ah! Whoa! I think I skipped a little too far! Y'all need to turn down your headphones. I'm gonna break your ears. I think I skipped a little too far. Okay, let's go back. Not save, I want to go to history. Wait. Where's history? Give me history. I want history. I want to go back. She felt a gentle sensation against her cheek. Althea's lips. Oh my god. Finally some gay happens and I skipped past it.
Althea was kissing her. It was at this point Aspen started to wonder whether or not she was hallucinating. But a mere hallucination would never have felt so soft.
Gay! Happy Pride Month, y'all. Aspen's oh god, it's the big box of text. My ADHD is gonna have a panic attack. Okay, y'all got this. Y'all be with me. But I swear I'm probably gonna yawn. Oh my god, the lesbianism, for real, for real. Please don't yawn, please don't yawn, please don't yawn. I want to keep playing this game, please don't yawn.
Aspen spent much of the previous night and the day that followed it thinking about that kiss.
What did it all mean exactly? I wish I knew, but I accidentally skipped past the text. Y'all, reverse it. Wind back and tell me what happened. I don't think you can do that on Twitch. Find a way. Reverse time. Make a time machine, y'all. If y'all can't even make me a time machine, are you really fans? I don't think so.
What did it all mean exactly? Althea had called Aspen pretty on numerous occasions, and she had claimed to enjoy seeing pretty girls blush, but Aspen was under no illusions when she came to her appearance. Aspen's hair was dark and fell loosely around her shoulders because she didn't know how to style...
No, don't yawn, don't yawn. How to style it.
She had a full fringe, mostly to hide her forehead and her tragically thin eyebrows, which she'd always been self-conscious about.
Girl, all women are beautiful. I don't care if you've got thin eyebrows or thick eyebrows. You're beautiful. Hi, Yasi. Welcome. How are you doing? It's very nice to see you. She had a bump in her nose. The lesbians finally kissed. It was on the cheek, but they finally kissed. I'm so loud today. I'm so sorry. She had a bump in her nose, and its tip always seemed to feel a little too pointed for her soft, heart-shaped face. That's fine. We all love a little edge. She never wore makeup. She'd never been taught how to apply it. Penny didn't bother with the stuff. She said it irritated her face, and anyway, most of it was tested on animals, and Aspen had followed suit. I agree. Penny is so right. I mean, I use makeup all the time, but I use stuff not tested on animals. Unlike most of the girls at Graham Secondary, Aspen didn't have pierced ears. She was a horrible baby, and she was afraid of needles. It's okay, girl. I don't have pierced ears either. I want to get them. When the nurses had come to school to give the girls cervical cancer vaccinations, Aspen had almost fainted from fright. I am the type who, I am so numb to needles that I watch them go in. Aspen's face had gone white and pasty. Well, pastier than it was already. I made a nurse gag one time because I just kind of watched the IV go in, and I was like, girl, you're a nurse. Well, pastier than it was already. She'd started trembling. She could hardly hold her arm still long enough for the poor nurse to insert the needle. The nurse had been awfully nice. Okay, we get it. I get that the author is giving us background here. Background is very important. I love background in reading. But I feel like oftentimes we get a little too much background. For example, learning that Aspen doesn't wear makeup because Penny doesn't do makeup, that's character. That adds to her character. Learning she's afraid of needles and doesn't have her ears pierced, that adds to her character. But hearing the whole entire story of the time she passed out from a needle, I feel like we don't need all of that background. Now, my criticism might be harsher because I'm trying to keep jokey mood, but I doubt the author will watch this, but if the author does watch this, know that it is genuinely a very good game, and you did very good. That is just my little criticism of, I feel like a lot of the times we get too much background. You could say, she still remembers the time she almost passed out when the nurse gave them vaccines at school, but I feel like that's enough because I remember this part. Look at how much text that just was, all to say unrelated information, but pretty much the girls were mean to her because she's afraid of needles. That's a lot of background just to tell us that she's a pussy, you know? Not saying if you have a fear of needles you're a pussy, just saying Aspen is a pussy. She wasn't ugly, she supposed, but she wasn't particularly pretty either. She was plain in every sense of the word, and she was a horrible coward to boot. British people. Nothing about her really stood out. Other than her innate knack at finding corpses, don't you huff at me, mister, or a corpse. Aspen didn't feel much like diversifying her portfolio on that account. Sneasel? What the fuck is a sneasel? ADHD. Aww. Okay, let's focus back. Why then had Althea kissed her? Because she loves you! Maybe Aspen thought, as she lay on her bed and stared at the glow-in-the-dark star stuck to her ceiling. Excuse me, she'd been teasing her. That seemed like the most likely explanation. See, I really like this because, this part kind of shows Aspen's character well. Because, what's the word? When you think about that, Aspen's, so kind of ignored and bullied most of her life that when someone literally shows her open affection, she assumes they're teasing her. I like that. But, Althea was the kind of a girl who enjoyed getting a rise out of others. She told that tale about not having fingerprints after all, and Aspen very much doubted she'd been telling the truth. Why wouldn't she be teasing about this? But by that token, why would she bother teasing her about such a thing to begin with? It was all so confusing. But it was not, Aspen thought, her very first kiss. That had occurred several years ago, back when she still tried to suffer through her ballet lessons. There had been a girl in Miss Preobrazhenskia's. Okay, I'm going to look it up because to me there is a lot of respect in saying someone's name correctly or incorrectly, and so I always try my best to pronounce names correctly.
Braz. Hin.
Sorry, y'all, I'm a bit mentally slow. / Jen.
Skaya. Okay, let's see.
Преображенская.
Preobrazhenska? Preobrazhenska. Alright. Okay. There had been a girl in Miss Preobrazhenska's juniors class with blue eyes and curly brown hair. Hey, that sounds like me, except my eyes aren't blue, and I and I have orange hair, so pretty much not me. She'd had her own toe shoes long before they'd even start to learn how to go on plane. That was why Aspen remembered her, though she'd not seen her for several years. That and the kiss. Her name had been Charlotte, and she'd always been peculiar. I got an ad, I don't know what you were trying to pronounce. I was trying to pronounce her teacher's name, Preobrazhenska? Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, this is another thing. So the story kind of makes it a theme. You'll see, get out your lore books, guys. Get out your lore books. The story. I'm always joking about lore books. You don't have to have lore books. The story always makes it a thing of like Aspen gets pushed around. So like Penny, no, that's her mom. But true, Penny, her mom is controlling, and like Charlotte, the girl she kissed, you learn was pretty like controlling and shitty to her, and like her best friend controlling and shitty to her. But the thing I don't like is they almost kind of make Aspen a bit shitty to her. Like, it's like, they're almost like, what's the word? I don't know. It's like, feels like they tried to break the pattern, but instead repeated it sometimes. Anyways, I'm getting way too serious, y'all. I gotta make more fart jokes. Charlotte used to pinch and poke Aspen, and sometimes she'd give her painful Chinese burns that left red marks. What is a Chinese burn? Chinese burn. The prank of grabbing a victim's forearm in both hands and twisting the skin in opposite directions. Bestie! That's called physical abuse. Or siblings, but you weren't siblings. Chinese burns that left red marks. She would offer to help Aspen tie up her hair, then gouge her scalp with bobby pins until Aspen whimpered in pain. What the fuck? Once, Charlotte had stolen Aspen's trainers from her lockers while they were getting changed after class, and she'd refused to give them back no matter how Aspen begged. That's the thing! Like, again, this girl literally bullied her, and she's saying, and like, I feel like they're kind of making a comparison to Aspen, or not Aspen, sorry, what's her name? Althea, when it's like, that's not a good thing. She'd made Aspen cry. Penny had never liked Charlotte. She'd call her a bully. She was. It's because her parents don't rein her in properly, Penny had said as they drove back from ballet school one night, her fingers clenched tightly around the steering wheel. They should give her a good smack. That would sort her out. In fact, I have half a mind to do it myself. I don't believe in child abuse, but I do believe in abusing others' children. That's a joke. Shut up, heart monitor. That's a joke. But, what was I gonna say? My mom almost hit a child once. This is a silly story, I swear. So my cousin is a little shit, and he is 9 months younger than me. Yes, 9 months younger than me. So when we were younger, like when we would hang out, we would just take baths together because it didn't matter. We were like 4, and we're like around that age. And one time when we were taking a bath, the little shit gets out of the bathtub and proceeds to piss and then shit on me. And my mom says she's never come so close to hitting a child. She did not, but she thought about it. She thought deeply about it, but she did not. She had a little conversation with him about we don't piss and shit on people. Yeah. He's a little shit. We love him, but he's a little shit. But Aspen hadn't wanted her mother to smack her. I like how I just told that casually. But Aspen hadn't wanted her mother to smack Charlotte. She couldn't bear the thought of anybody hurting her. Though Charlotte had been devious, Though Charlotte had been devious and at times outright cruel, she didn't deserve that. See, yeah, the reason my brain disconnected for a few seconds. Good, honestly. If your brain responded like, oh yeah, to that story, I'd be a little concerned. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we were like 3, I think.
But I mean, I should know this. I was in childcare classes. I should know what age we were, or like at least the age range. I don't know, but we were old enough to where we took math together, and that's what I hear when my brain comes back. You're welcome. I relate to this girl deeply. Like, I not only used to be a doormat, but also I would always get crushes on the girls that bullied me. Not because they bullied me, it would just be a bad coincidence. Like, when someone was nice to me, I was like, they're being nice to me. But then they bullied me, and I was like, well, they were nice to me. If someone's being mean to you, I don't give a shit what they've done in the past. I don't give a shit if they've literally given you their kidney. Fuck them. Fuck them. Get away from them. If someone's hurting you, like, it doesn't matter what they've done in the past. It doesn't matter how cool they were. If somebody's hurting you, speak to them about it, and if they don't respond well, then fuck them. They're not your friend anymore. Rayon has decided, officially, the council has decided they're not your friend anymore. I don't care. Leave them. Now. I demand. Though Charlotte had been devious and at times outright cruel, she didn't deserve that. I think she did. Don't hit children. Despite all her teasing, Charlotte had possessed the sweet side. Again, like, that's not a good thing, bestie. Once, during practice, Aspen had fallen over. She cut her leg and tore a hole in her tights and started to whimper. It had been Charlotte, not the other girls Penny approved of, who'd taken Aspen to the toilets and dabbed at her bloody knee with a wet paper towel. Take out your lore books and note something that no one else helped her. So, like, you can see why, even when someone's mean to her, she's friends with them, because no one else is there for her. When Aspen sniffled, trying to stem the flow of hot tears that spilled down her cheeks, I have to go help my mom make dinner. Good luck! Tell your mom I say hello. Not in a weird way, just tell her I hope she has a lovely day. My dog huffed at me. He doesn't like saying hello to mothers, apparently. Charlotte had entwined their fingers together and looked into her eyes. Aw. Don't worry, she said softly, like she was a mother and Aspen was her little girl. It'll stop hurting soon. I'll come back after I can. But what it hurts now? Then I'll take your mind off it, Charlotte had said. I'll come back after I can. Appreciate it, bestie. Thank you. And just like that, she kissed her. Bro, this would be cute if Charlotte wasn't a bitch. It had been a chaste. Totally not looking up what chaste means. What? Abstaining from extra man. It was a non-sexual kiss, pretty much. So pure, kinda, I guess. It was a pure kiss, just a mere brush of the lips against the side of her cheek. But it had been Aspen. Does that count as a first kiss? I thought a kiss, like a first kiss, was like when you touch lips. Cause like then like wouldn't like French people like have their first kiss like very young? Cause don't French people kiss each other on the cheek? I don't know, I'm a stupid American. She could remember it clearly. Aspen had wondered, after that kiss, if that meant she and Charlotte were friends. Friends now. Best friends. But, alas, Charlotte never brought up the kiss again. In fact, she went right back to her bullying ways soon after. One day, Charlotte had pushed Aspen over during practice. Aspen's tights had laddered, and when Penny saw them, she almost exploded. Aspen tried to keep the identity of her attacker a secret, but Penny had managed to cajole the information out of her. Armed with the knowledge that Charlotte was up to her old tricks, Penny launched a crusade against Charlotte's father. See, and again, like, the mom's trying to be helpful, but this is why Aspen didn't want to tell her, because she knew she'd do that. The two had interacted politely at first, but when Charlotte's father refused to pay for a new pair of tights, or even apologized for his daughter's misconduct, are you sure your Aspen didn't trip over her own feet? We all know she's not the most coordinated of dancers. Bro, I'm gonna commit a hate crime. Penny had started shouting. The two parents had exchanged insults for a good 5 minutes in the car park of the ballet studio, while the other mothers and fathers and little ballerinas stood around gawping. This is why Aspen didn't want to tell you! The dispute had only been broken up after Miss... Looking up how to say the name again, cutely... Preobrazhenskaya. Okay. Preobrazhenska. After Miss Preobrazhenska came between them, her voice sparred with dramatic eyebrows. She drew them on with a makeup pencil. Another critique I have of this game, I love this game, but another critique I have of this game, and I'm not trying to be mean, is I feel like it can be a little on the edge of racial stereotypes. Like, the one girl who wasn't white in the game, she was like from, I'm pretty sure either India or like yeah, I think India or like somewhere Arabic. What's her name? I don't remember her name, but you know who I'm talking about if you've seen the other parts. She like was like, what's the word? Like everything she did, it was like she wore her outfits in the most Indian way possible, and it was like that's a little weird. And I thought that was pretty weird. But I also find it weird that I feel like Miss, how do you pronounce it? Miss Preobrazhenska seems like a stereotype too. I feel like not a terrible one, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I am not Russian. I think that's a Russian name. But I'm not Russian. I do not know. But so far off her forehead, they looked like they were trying to escape. Penny and Charlotte's fathers backed down, but Penny's grudge didn't fade. After that unpleasant evening, she asked, nay, ordered Aspen to keep away from her. And then about a month later, Charlotte stopped attending ballet lessons altogether. Penny viewed it as a victory. She thought she'd managed to drive Charlotte and her father away for good with the power of dirty looks and snide remarks. Aspen wasn't so sure. In any case, Penny's victory had been short-lived because it was soon after the debacle with Charlotte that Pippa had stuffed her only daughter into their washing machine. Charlotte might have been a bully, but she'd never done anything that cruel. After all, there weren't any washing machines in Miss Preobrazhenska's ballet studio. Aspen didn't think she was a bad person, but she wasn't entirely sure. I feel like also, like, you know, like, that's a hard position to be in as a mother, but also, like, there's a pattern here, you know? Like, I feel like just removing the girl when there's a pattern isn't gonna help. She hadn't seen Charlotte in years. Aspen frowned. Why was she thinking about that now? Maybe it was because Charlotte, Pippa, now Althea all had one thing in common. They were all far from more self-assured and confident than Aspen herself was, and they used that to their advantage. Ever since Aspen could remember, she'd been pushed around by others. She was teased and harassed on a constant basis, even by people who were supposed to be her friends. Charlotte and Pippa had both turned their backs on her, but what about Althea? If the past was anything to go by, it seemed she too would eventually abandon Aspen when she grew tired of her. But Aspen didn't want to believe that of her new friend. She was overthinking and getting confused because Althea herself was very confusing. But that only made Aspen more interested in the other girl. She wanted to see her again. She simply had to. And so it was, for the third night in a row, that Aspen found herself exiting her house and trekking through Miss Lay's overgrown back garden. She hoped Miss Lay would forgive her for her transgressions. Examining a dead woman's home didn't seem like a very respectable pastime. But Miss Lay wouldn't mind now. As Althea had rightfully pointed out, she was beyond minding. Bro, that feels wrong. At least Aspen wasn't trying to nick her stuff to turn over a quick profit. There wasn't much stuff left to nick, other than the rusty old knife and all those books. Besides, Aspen told herself, as she let herself in through the kitchen window, maybe Miss Lay would be happy if she was intruding. Aspen had never gone to Miss Lay's home willingly before. She'd only done so out of a grim sense of obligation. She'd suffered through their Sunday tea parties with a frozen grimace, trying her best to look like she was enjoying herself. I hate this game sometimes. Unfortunately, Aspen had never been a very good actress. She'd been even worse at smiling on demand, something that had infuriated Miss Preobrazhenska to no end. Miss Lay had pretended not to notice, but as poor as her eyesight was, she must have realized how hollow Aspen's half smiles were. Can you stop bullying this old woman, Jesus? Would have been obvious, even to a blind man, that Aspen hadn't wanted to be there. Why? Now, for the first time in her life, Aspen was visiting Miss Lay's home, 3 nights in a row no less, because she legitimately wanted to. Yeah, but you didn't want to for her. It was funny how Miss Lay's house had only become an intriguing location after its owner had died. Funny, and maybe a little bit sad. I think I'm gonna end here. Sorry I didn't wait for Bun Bun to come back. Love you, Bun Bun. This game can just get a bit depressing sometimes. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you all. I will see you guys whenever I see you next. Bye bye.